And we're back. Another episode of the Chase Mair Show, episode 5. That's 5 away from 10, and about 95 away from 100 episodes. So, yeah, we're back, still kicking. The show's never going to end. We're going to keep on doing this. So, this week, we got another guest on. We're doing another interview, and this is Cooper.
Hello, Chase. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Can I just say, if you hear my tummy rumbling at all during the recording, it's just because I'm currently on a podcast hunger strike.
Yeah.
In which, whenever I'm on a podcast, I cannot eat any food. I can eat food when I'm not recording, but it's just, my tummy starts rumbling during these. It's in solidarity with something.
Yeah, that's the kind of dedication that we need on the show. But we got a great interview lined up. It's crazy. So, starting off, have you ever been...
Can you say that with certainty that it's going to be great beforehand?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's great. I'm all in now.
Have you ever been interviewed before?
There was this one time when I was a young boy. My mom had done something really heroic. She had gone across the street to my neighbor's house, and I think it was during an ambulance strike many years ago, and she was like giving birth, and the ambulance was not going to come in time. So my mom, never having done it before, like at least on the receiving end of a birth happening, gave birth, helped my neighbor give birth, and then she was interviewed by some TV stations like CBC and Global, and me being the attention grabbing person that I was, asked to go with her. And then I was on the interview. I got interviewed, and I called my mom a super cop, which in retrospect, it sounds like a horrible thing.
Yeah, geez, a little that didn't age very well, if you will.
No. Listen, I don't share the same opinion. That was me when I was a little baby boy. But that was the last time I was interviewed.
So like you showed up like you thought you were like part of the team,
Yeah, well, I heard there were going to be cameras, and I was like, I'm in. I'm there. And then it was mostly my mom getting talked to about literally helping someone give birth. And then they turned the camera to me, and they were like, what do you think of this lad? And I was like, yeah, I guess she's pretty great.
It was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
So like, did you catch up with it? Did you like see it on the news afterwards? Did they keep you in or?
Yeah, we did. Our neighbors had recorded it. And then when we were at a party at their house, like a month later, they just had it on repeat. But I've tried finding it online since then, and I cannot find it. I don't know where it is. I looked up little baby super cop, and nothing showed up.
So we got lost media on our hands.
We do, yeah.
We got to get the whole wiki on there. Get Cooper's young man interview.
Yeah, if we can find it, and then like I'm not gonna do it because this isn't my show. But if you get one of your associates to go through the Internet Archives and find it, then I will, at the very least, put it on my Instagram story.
Yeah, I'll get my archive guy to go through it.
Terrific.
Yeah, I got like a couple employees on payroll, and they can just do that for a living. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So, how was your day? What you been up to?
I worked today. It was very hot today. I was in this building where I had to masquerade as an electrician because I'm in the union. But if a real electrician came up to me, I would cower because I don't know how it works. But I use a lot of the same tools, and I had a lady come up to me today with a broken cord and was like, "Can you help me?" And I really tried, but I was so scared about electrocuting myself that I was like, "Ma'am, I'm not qualified for this, and we might both die."
Wait, was it still plugged in?
No. Well, one half wasn't. I don't know where the other half was. So that's why I didn't try it.
Oh, that's fair. So, like, how do you, like, masquerade as an electrician? How do you get into the union if you're, like, not an electrician?
Well, here's the thing about unions, especially big ones like that. They have this, like, it's almost like a blanket, like, it's kind of like a lot of them is just close enough. Like, I'm close enough to an electrician. I'm like something left of electrician, but it's just nothing official. Like if you handed me a bunch of wires right now and said, do a Nikola Tesla and make it do a zappy thing, I wouldn't know what to do. But if you asked me to just twist them into a little ball and throw it across the room, I could definitely do that for you.
So you're like a diet electrician.
Yeah, like a diet electrician.
You're honorary.
Yeah, like it's great. I get all the perks that come with it, but I have a friend who's a real electrician, and he always refers to me as a fake electrician, and it hurt my feelings at first, but I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm not a real one. And it's kind of like, people who are security guard guys, like trying to be like, oh, you don't know what I do every day. Like they're trying to like act like they're police officers. Like,
yeah, they just got all the Punisher stickers on their truck and everything.
Yeah. So it's like that's what it's like for me. Because it's like I'm like the security guard equivalent to a police officer that my job is to an electrician, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you're like the mall cop of electricians.
Yeah, that's I mean, it hurts the way when you said it, but it is true.
You're like the Paul Blart to like your friend's John McClane or something,
Yeah. Wow, isn't it like I watched that movie again, the first Blart movie. I know you talked about it in a different podcast. I won't dwell on it long, but it's crazy that it's literally just Die Hard.
Yeah.
But for a fat man in a mall.
And it's crazy how he managed to pull all that stuff off,
Yeah.
Like he saved the day. He got the girl, and he's not even like a real cop.
I mean, you kind of have to expect that Kevin James has it in him, especially after he made that movie Here Comes the Boom and proved that he is a fighter.
That's true, yeah.
So I think it was always under the surface. I'm sure being friends with Adam Sandler, you might get a little angry every once in a while because every movie you have to fall and poop or something.
I mean, it seems like a pretty cushy gig. It's just all you do is fall and poop. That's like what you do, and you just get paid for it. That seems pretty cushy. I don't know.
You know what? Yeah, I'm looking at it purely from I respect my own creative endeavors, but if all I cared about was the money, I'll fall and poop any day for you.
Well, you got to get it's like a couple for them and one for you. You got to get that balance in, right?
Yeah.
So you do 9 pooping and falling movies, and then you get to do 1 Goodfellas.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah.
You would think that all the Nolan movies he does would be his one for me, but his stupid fucking I'm a detective movies are his one for him. And then he'll begrudgingly go, okay, I'll be a cool scientist in Oppenheimer, or I'll be a British guy that's on Beach War. It's just but I would have thought it would have been the other way.
You would think, yeah. But yeah, that guy has such a fascinating career to me. Because he did the first 2 Thor movies. He did all those I don't know, I guess they're kind of they're boomer murder mystery movies, or murder mystery movies for your parents or something like that, along the lines of there. And he was in Tenet. It's what's he been doing? He's all over the place.
Yeah, he was I actually quite liked him in Tenet. I thought he was a good bad guy. He's just Russian, but he's a Russian guy who knows how time works, and that's scary.
See, he actually acted backwards on set.
Really?
Everybody in that movie did, yeah. See, he was bold. Nolan actually, he didn't market Tenet around that, but he got everybody to.
I don't even think he
backwards.
marketed Tenet. I don't think I saw one trailer for that movie.
Well, as Tenet's biggest soldier, the biggest Tenet head,
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, it's just they did that. There was a couple trailers. They got a Travis Scott song.
Actually?
Yeah.
Is he singing backwards on the song?
No, he's just singing about Tenet.
Okay.
Well, not about Tenet, but it's related to Tenet,
Yeah.
I like to think of him as how Travis Scott would be if he was in the Tenet universe. I think we should get a Travis Scott song for the show. I think that'd be pretty cool.
For this podcast.
Yeah.
I would love that. New and original?
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be Travis Scott. I think any popular rapper, it'd be pretty cool to have them do something for the show.
Yeah.
Say 21 Savage. He did a song for Spiral, or Saw 9 as it's commonly referred to.
Yeah.
If 21 Savage did a Chase Mair Show theme, I think it'd be pretty cool.
What other? I feel like there's one more that I'm missing. There's another rapper that is I think recently is doing a song for a movie. I feel like we don't really see much of that. It's kind of cool that it's starting to happen more. I feel like it's always pop stars or at worst a country singer.
We know Eminem. He did Venom. He could do a Chase Mair Show song.
Did. I actually stood up and clapped when that came out at the end of the movie. I actually stood up and clapped about 10 minutes prior also, but when Venom came on at the end of Venom, I was very, very happy.
Yeah. The credits rolled and I threw my hat in the air. And I cheered, I clapped, I even cried a little bit.
That scene in Oppenheimer when after the Trinity test, when he comes back to the camp and everyone's like holding him up and like the American flag is in the back. That's what happened in my theater. But it was all of us lifting up the film reel in celebration.
Chanting Venom,
Venom, Venom. It was great.
Hell yeah, dude. Did you ever see Venom 2?
I did not.
Me neither.
Because I wanted to do Venom Con 2 because the first time I saw Venom, it was with 20 of my friends. We took up like the half of like 2 rows.
Yeah.
And like it was an accident too. Like we only really had set it up for like 7 or 8 friends to come, and then we just happened to have. There was a separate group of our friends, unbeknownst to us, that had also booked the same movie, and it was a really incredible affair, and we just couldn't get the steam rolling like that for Venom Con 2.
Yeah.
You know, it just never happened.
Well, it's like you see Venom 1 and like you know what you're getting into for Venom 2 for the most part.
Just a bunch of gooey boys fighting.
It's like, did you have the theater yourself or
for Venom 1?
Yeah.
No, there were other people there, and they did not like when we stood up and clapped.
It's their loss, really.
Yeah.
Well,
it's because we stood up and clapped before the movie had ended. We stood up and clapped at the moment when they're in the little shop and he says, "We are Venom." That's when we all stood up and clapped. There was like 5 minutes of movie left still.
You ever have that where you're just like with like a couple people and you see a movie like and like you're the only guys in the theater, or the only people in a theater?
Yeah, I did that. I had that when I saw Blackberry.
That's fun.
I'm trying to think of another. Oh, I saw a Mission Impossible movie in a dead theater, which is crazy. I guess not crazy now, given that it's bombed so hard. But that's only because this summer's been real tough for movies.
Yeah, it's like unless you're a movie about a guy making bombs or a movie
or
about...
Oppenheimer. Sorry, I fucked up the joke. I was kidding. Continue.
So, anyways, like I had that while watching Cats.
Like a dead. I can't believe you went and saw it in theaters.
Like it was a group of like 6 of us, and we were all like horribly shit faced.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's no one else in the theater.
So 2 people came in like, I don't know, like 2 minutes before the movie was gonna start, and they were also shit faced.
Okay.
So
I was thinking they saw about like 6 of you guys and went, man, this pedophile showing, and then left.
Yeah, file showing was down the hall.
Down the hall, yeah. This is the normal one.
No, they were also getting shit faced. Just dumped like we gave them some whiskey and they just threw it in their fucking soda pop. It was pretty cool. And I missed the only like really funny part of that movie apparently because I had to piss for like half the duration and I walked out like when it was funny. That's my story.
That's pretty good. Do you think movies should go back to having intermissions?
If they're like long enough, yeah. I feel like we don't get enough. Like I feel like people would be more down to watch a 3-hour movie if there was just like an intermission halfway through. You know.
I think that they're awesome. I had one because my grandpa lives in a town called Powell River, and they have one theater there that only shows one movie at a time, and they have intermissions for them like to this day still.
Yeah.
And I saw Pirates of the Caribbean 2 there, which is Dead Man's Chest for people unfamiliar. One of the best ones of the series, I feel. And at the scene when they're playing that funny little game on Mr. Tentacle Face's ship, he comes downstairs to play the game with them, and that was the intermission. And I was just like, I thought the movie ended, and I was just like, what? How does this game end?
What's going on?
But I feel like more movies should, because I'm okay with movies being longer, but like, goddamn, you know, like popcorn is so salty, and I need to take my sippy of water.
Yeah.
And as soon as water hits my stomach, I don't know where water goes, but as soon as water hits whatever's inside my body,
it just goes right through.
It goes right through. My brain's like, you got to piss now, bud. And I'm like, I just took a sip. But then the thought stays with me.
It is crazy, like how much they like bank on like, oh, you get to like have a big drink and a big snack at the movie theater, but they also expect you to sit like 3 hours at a time, 3.5 hours if you count like the 20 minutes of previews or whatever, right?
Oh my God, yeah, no kidding. And like you go to like those IMAX theaters, because when I saw Oppenheimer, I saw it twice in IMAX, and you are packed like sardines in those chairs. It's you're shoulder to shoulder with people, and there's not a lot of leg room in between the seats. So and if you're a guy like me who wants to get a nice view, I'm in the middle. And when I have to pee, I'm like, I'm going to inconvenience 10 people either direction I go in.
Yeah.
And I just can't bring myself to do it, so I suffer. And then the movie gets ruined a bit for me because half the time all I could think of is, oh my God, I have to piss my pants.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, wow, you can suffer or you can become an enemy of the people. And I'm a man of the people, so I just always bring my bottles.
To piss in?
Yeah.
That's smart.
It's like, they know. Like, I'm a cinephile. Like, they understand.
I kind of want to like buy a pair of those lady hiking pants that have the pussy zipper where you can just unzip and just piss right there on the spot. I feel like that'd be really convenient for peeing in a movie theater.
That would be,
you could just unzip, put your bottle there, and no one is the wiser.
I feel like we could benefit from like incorporating that design into everybody's jeans, as well as like there's like a lot of jeans that like for women that don't have like pockets in them. It's like if we incorporated like the pockets in the woman's jeans, and we got the zipper.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a fair trade. I think
100%. Because listen, like I know that they're designed for women, but the zipper goes up pretty far enough that I think it'd be more convenient instead of me having to unzip my pants at the front and just reach in there and try to rearrange everything. Just unzipping from the bottom, and then I also invested zipper underwear of the same caliber. There's a couple steps to this process, but I think that it would work out much better than whatever the fuck is going on right now.
You would save literally seconds.
So many seconds.
Yeah.
Time is so money.
Like what if like your dong gets stuck in the zipper?
Oh, like in is it Along Came Polly or it's
Something About Mary?
Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that terrified me when I was a kid. That might have been the scariest scene in a movie because that's something I actively worried about when I was younger.
Yeah.
Getting my little thing caught in the zipper. I don't know about you, but I'm in the Skin On gang, and it's just always concerned me that would happen to me.
So you're just like a commando guy.
No, I wear what? No, I like no. I am
oh,
the
you're
farthest
talking about
thing from
foreskin.
commando.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, you think no, not underwear. Underwear's fine.
Oh yeah, no, like I interpreted Skin On as something else.
Underwear skin.
Well, no, like Skin On, like interpreting like skin on the zipper,
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I'd be worried about catching my dong in my zipper.
Yeah, that seems like a dangerous gambit you'd be playing. But yeah, I mean, like getting your foreskin caught in a zipper, that sounds pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Not that I would know, but
Okay, your skin off.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my reparation checks.
Yeah, if you guys get them, like that'd be awesome. That'd be really good for you.
I feel very passionate about this, where it's just like I was mutilated, and oh wow, I'm a crybaby. I'm a loser for complaining about it. Like, no, I won't know what it's like to have a sheath around my sword.
Yeah, like you couldn't walk for like at least a year when that happened to you.
No, yeah, exactly. It was awful.
Yeah.
Let's say like it could be worse. I mean, I have some buddies that are Filipino that got circumcised at like 13.
Ugh.
Which would be way worse than getting circumcised like as a baby.
Is that a rite of passage?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like I don't know like the details about it. Like I don't know if it is just like coincidence that like the Filipino guys I know like got circumcised at 13 or if it is like a cultural thing or not. But
I'd rather do it on a baby.
Well, yeah. Because like the baby, at least the baby doesn't know what it's like to have the sheath,
Yeah.
It's
well,
like
it's gonna cry anyways.
Yeah, but they're not gonna remember it.
Yeah, they're not.
It's like
But you do because you want reparations.
Well, of course, like regardless if I remember it, like just because I don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen. I was there for it. It's like I might not remember it up here, but my heart, it does.
Yeah.
And other places do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really advocating for reparations. That and I really need money right now.
Heard that.
The economy's tough. Everything's tough. the show isn't making any money.
Oh, buddy, I don't know if I can if this will ease your pain or make it worse for you, but I did my show for like almost 5 years. Not a cent came in my direction.
Anyways,
Listen, if you figure out the TikTok algorithm,
let's see. Yeah, it's like
money will come to you.
I got a guy who works at TikTok. My TikTok guy, he's gonna boost my things. So, I'm one episode away from hitting it big.
Oh wow, I'm really excited for you.
I'm one short form content clip away from hitting it big.
Hopefully this is the one.
Not to presume anything, but there is a chance. So you mentioned that you had a podcast for 5 years before.
I did, yeah.
Do you feel like people like treated you differently or acted weird around you when you told them that you had a podcast?
I was honestly for the longest time embarrassed to say it. I think in the first 2 years I could not bring it up in conversation. And then afterwards I was like, whatever. I do think that, because I think I started mine, I think before people really started turning on podcasts I think I started it and then it was just like, I just came in at the wrong time because suddenly everyone and their grandma had a podcast.
Yeah.
So the market was really flooded and people were just like fucking, it was just, everyone's just like, oh, you have a podcast? Ugh. And I just I felt really embarrassed to talk about it. I don't think I ever got any different looks. I definitely had a weird influx of people at first being like, can I come on? And I'm just like, I can barely talk to you right now. Like, what makes you think we can go an hour? But sure, it's kind of like the Wild West back then.
Because I was on Hinge the other day, shamefully, and there was a girl in one of her prompts that she said something along the lines of, "All I ask is that you're not a podcaster," and I'm like, how can she just get away with being this brazenly pod phobic? You know?
No, it's dangerous.
I feel like a victim right now.
Oh, people could maybe eventually die because of this bigotry.
Yeah, it's just
but only from me myself.
Victims of podphobia, me, after I myself, because everybody keeps on making fun of me for being another white guy with a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I heard in DC that they're gonna start building a wall of names of dead podcasters. It's a growing list. It's really sad.
Yeah, to pour one out, we lost another soldier today. Another good podcaster gone.
Such a shame.
They were one episode away from getting a NordVPN sponsorship.
Oh no, that's the worst. They already had a Raycon sponsorship though, so that's fine.
Do Raycons? Do they still do sponsorships? I haven't seen them around in a while.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I feel like there's just a cycle where it's just like YouTube advertisements where they come and go.
Yeah. Well, considering I feel like you could get a Raycon sponsorship. I heard they give them to anybody. Isn't it a phony business already?
Well, yeah. It's I have to pretend to like Raycons.
Yeah. Do you have to pretend to like Akon, the singer who is the proprietor of them? Do you know that? It's Akon, the singer.
I thought it was Ray J.
Is it Ray J?
I don't know.
Maybe they're together. Maybe it's Raycon and AJ, and they've formed a brand of off-white, off-kilter AirPods.
Yeah, they're like the Beats by Dre for a new generation.
Yeah, but it's Beats by Drapel now because Apple owns part of it.
Oh yeah.
You got your Drapels on?
No, these are Sennheisers.
Oh, who's the combination there?
Chase Heisers. I'm actually sponsored by Sennheiser.
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's they don't know it yet, but they are sponsoring me. They're actually gonna send me all their high-end headphones, and they're gonna send me a lav kit. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Can I make a point here? I don't know if any other guest has made this on the show so far. This room's temperature increases by the second.
Yeah, no.
I can feel myself getting warmer every time I open my mouth. I'm sure my hot breath isn't helping. I'm just adding to this room, but it gets really hot in here.
It's every episode my shirt gets all sweaty and gross. It's a fun little tradition that I have. But speaking of heat, let's take some time. We're gonna go to commercials, so stay tuned. We're gonna have more Cooper action, and Chase Mair Show. on break. And we're back.
Whoa.
Back at it again with Cooper.
Hey.
Ready to interview even more after those wonderful commercials.
I'm primed for interviewings.
It's if anybody wants to sponsor the show, email me at deadbeatcinema@gmail.com, or you can find my Kick account. It's probably out there somewhere. But yeah, so how was the break for you, Cooper?
It was great. I had a lot of time to think about what we did in the earlier half of the show, and I came to the realization that I kind of forgot what we talked about already. So what's going on with you?
Not much. You're flipping the interview around on me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. It's instinct, you know.
But like, I don't know. I went to the gym. That was quirky. Nothing crazy happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go to the flying machine, there's always somebody on it, and I'm too socially awkward. I'm too scared to talk to them because they're bigger than me, and they're probably like nice enough people. I just don't want to talk to people at the gym. You know.
That's fair. At my gym that I used to go to in West Van, a lot of rich, very attractive old ladies there, and
sorry, what gym is this?
Can I? Is it, if it's a public place? Is it doxing it technically or no?
I don't think so.
It was the Anytime Fitness in West Van.
Yeah, that's like a chain. That's fine.
Yeah, like it's not like that's where they live. Well, I mean, some of the jacked guys you see in there, you'd think they live there. But no, there was some very attractive old ladies there. And I thought maybe there was a chance that they were widows.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they also had come into wealth because they live in West Van. So I was very polite to all the old ladies there on the off chance that they invited me to clean their pool, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. So like, did you like have like a cordial relationship with them, or was it like just looking over at them and sometimes you'd say hi kind of thing?
It was a lot of like just occasional polite small conversations. There was this one lady that I never spoke to, but man, she was eyeing me down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was too scared. I was too intimidated by her because she was very, very, very beautiful. And it terrified me.
See, you could have been living in a mansion.
I could be.
You know, you could have been added to the trust.
Yeah, and now I'm just at a karate dojo with a bunch of children that are half my age.
That's like the bad ending, isn't it?
It kind of is. I mean, like, I'm learning how to fight now, but I'm learning how to fight children, which I don't know how effective that'll be in the real world.
I don't know. Like, it's a pretty good teaching tool. The stakes are pretty low. You're just learning how to fight children.
Yeah.
Did you start with like 6-year-olds and you started working your way up?
No,
so like
no,
now you're
no.
at like tweens or something, and now you're gonna get like teenagers.
They put me
or...
in the class that's like, it has a big range, but if I am doing anything, I'm fighting with the older of the kids, so usually like teenagers. But there's still like there was this one kid, and let it be known, this was completely an agreed upon situation. But myself and Carson, this little kid, asked us to give him a ride home, which we did, but nothing happened. Just to specify. But we were driving back, and the kid was like, I was like, how old are you? And the kid was like, I'm 14. And I was just like, fuck, I'm 24. Like, shit. Like, 10 years is a long time, and that's a really insane, like, just to think about, like, holy fuck, that kid is... He might not even know what 9/11 is.
Yeah, it's like he was born, what, 2009? It's like that.
Is that? No. That kid would not be 14 if he was born in 2009. That's probably like 2004. No. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how time works anymore. It's not 2009, though. You're nuts for saying that.
I'm pretty sure it's 2009.
Is it?
See, that was like a 2009
No,
11 on your feeling old thing there.
Oh my God, you are right.
Yeah.
God, remember 2009?
Yeah, what a great year.
Actually, was a pretty good year.
Modern Warfare 2 came out.
Yep. There was a couple songs I really liked that were on the top Billboard. Were one of the Olympics that year? No, that was 2010.
No, that was 2010.
But we were excited for the Olympics, weren't we?
Oh, don't even
It was
get
just
me
around
started.
the corner.
I liked the little mascots they had.
Yeah.
They really liked selling merch of those little mascot guys.
I only remember Squatchy. I don't remember the other ones.
Oh yeah, I guess the Sasquatch guy. That's the only guy I remember.
Yeah.
He is squatchy. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Did you go to any Olympic events?
No,
I have to stop interviewing you. I'm sorry.
I lived in the boonies. I was in the middle of nowhere. They pulled out like a little CRT and we watched it on we watched some of them live. I remember like it was like that we watched in school and we watched Obama's inauguration. And I was like 8 and I didn't understand why it was important. So I was like really confused. Like, why are we watching this?
Yeah, I went to Skeleton. It was the one where we won gold. And I think it was the last time that I ever expressed patriotism that it wasn't tinged in possible racism or xenophobia. You know, like, because now it's different when you start singing the Canadian anthem or you're waving a flag around. But back then it was awesome. You know, we won gold and I was hugging random people. The whole ride back, we were singing the anthem and we were like embracing and, you know, shaking hands and laughing and crying. And if it happens now, like, people look at you differently.
Yeah, it's like 2010 was like peak Canada fuck yeah season. You know? It's like now Canada is just, oh wow, you know, rooted in racism. I can't afford a house, and everything's falling apart.
My truck's got a horn that won't shut up, and I'm in your city.
And I'm in your walls.
I'm in your walls.
You know, it's oh, I can't go to the doctor anymore, and when I do go to the doctor, they just tell me I don't know, like, don't go to the doctor.
Do you die in what's that movie that Spielberg made that was awful?
Oh, Ready Player One.
Yeah, that one.
No, I think that's not a death game one. I think that's just a game.
Okay. That's
like,
good. That's good to know.
Their like entire economy is based around like that one video game. See, like, I don't think VR like would catch on the same way that like it would in a Ready Player One scenario, you know? I think it's too dorky.
I always get sick when I have the glasses on. Like I'm sure maybe they'll reach a point where you don't get disoriented after like 10 minutes. And I'm sure some people don't. But every time I've worn a VR set, like I get really nauseous after like 10 minutes of wearing it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's the nausea factor. And I think it's just like VR, it's like you get the headset and it's like if you actually want to like go through the effort of like doing the whole full immersion thing, like you need so much space, you need like all this technology like strapped to your like wrists or whatever, and it's just like most people don't have the money or the space for that. So I can't imagine like a 200 square foot apartment here is like $2,000 a month. Like we are not getting VR anytime soon, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the time too, because imagine like you come home from a hard day of work and you want to play some video games, and you gotta go boop, 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 boop. I'm making noises for putting on the gear for people who are just listening.
We'll add gear in a post.
Okay, cool, great. Yeah. Like I think like people underestimate how important time is, and like the fact that you can just for like a PS5 pick up the controller, hit the button, and you can start playing. Like that's so important to people, you know? I think that's a big reason why, like, because I want to get a PC eventually, but I can see that being a big turnaround for people who don't, like, for people who want to get a PC, because it's like, it's all that setup.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, ain't nobody got time for that.
It's like, I got a new PC, like, pretty recently, and there were, like, some accounts that I just still haven't, like, signed in on my, like, PC, just because, like, it's just a lot of work. Like, I just don't feel like doing it, you know? It's like it's a getting a PC set up, that's a full-time job. It's like, I guess if you did it for a living, say you worked for a certain tech channel in this city, but you know, I don't know. It's like working a PC is a lot of work. I don't blame anyone for not really like getting into it, you know?
Yeah. It could also be laziness, because I know for me, when I moved, I hated doing the setup again of having to change my address for everywhere. And I went like a month where I was just like, like, who cares? But then, like, I wasn't getting my mail, and I was like, fuck, I guess I gotta change this.
Yeah, it's like when I was in Victoria, I was subscribed to Fresh Prep. When I had, like, a job, I just got, like, food delivered to, like, my door, and I would cook it and everything. And when I moved back here, like, I didn't have a job, so I just, like, it's like, oh, whatever. Like, I'll just cancel it every week and just, like, not close my account, but, like, keep it going just in case like I get work anytime soon. It's like I don't want to go through the effort of like calling them and canceling it. It's like, oh, I'll get like work in like 2 or 3 months. It's been 9. And now like my credit card expired. So like I don't have to like manually like cancel my order every week anymore. All I have to do is just like let it go and it just cancels it automatically because I haven't changed my credit card on there.
So you haven't been working for 9 months.
Yeah, well, I mean like I worked very hard on this show.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just surprised you did not start this show sooner. I'm surprised it took you like 8 months to get to you doing a podcast. If I hadn't had a podcast already and I was unemployed for 3 months, I would have started a show.
Well, yeah.
No, it's incredible. It shows like restraint from you.
It's like I don't know, like this is a moment of desperation. I'm going bankrupt next month perhaps. So who knows? This is my Hail Mary. It's like the Chase Mair Show has to do well in the next month. So sponsor the show, like and subscribe, do all the things, because if you don't, the Chase Mair Show isn't going to be around anymore. I'm going to be door dashing for a living, and that would suck for me and for you, the audience.
No winners if Chase isn't winning. Everyone's
Exactly.
a loser.
And like I get it, because like I win so often, it's like hard for me and everybody else to imagine me like not winning. But like it's possible. I've seen it. Sometimes you have to stare into the abyss in order to be successful. And that's what I'm doing right now. Winning.
It looks like it.
And I tell you, nothing says winning like sweating in my basement wearing
And your piss-colored shirt.
in my piss-colored shirt. It's like I had a moment the other day where I was just doom scrolling TikTok, and they did that whole like man on the street bit, or I guess it was a woman doing the interview, a person on the street bit, where they were asking like people what they do for their jobs, what their salary was, and they interviewed a stand-up comic, and they're just like, oh yeah, I make like $20,000 a year off my podcast. I'm like, that's like pretty good. But also, that's not enough for the Chase Mair Show to like cover like rent and expenses. If I was making $20,000 like a year,
It's really frustrating too, and I'm not saying this is a knock to you. I'm just saying it as a knock to comedians in general. I don't have TikTok, but I occasionally scroll Instagram Reels when I'm not ready to go onto Twitter. And I'm constantly bombarded by these like TikTok things that are just these two comedians that are saying the most unfunny conversation ever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do they do it? Like, not one, how do you not hold yourself to a higher standard comedically? Like I know podcasts, you like, in a script, if you're writing a comedy, TV show or movie, you need at least like 2 or 3 jokes a page.
Yeah. It's got to be dense.
It's got to be dense.
The jokes per minute has to be very high. Yes.
And I know like that for podcasts, because it's generally improvised, you don't need to have that many jokes. But if you moonlight as a comedian, you should have more jokes in your podcast if you are using your fame as a comedian as a start off point for having a podcast.
It's like you got to have like at least a couple jokes in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Emergency bits, You just whip those out and just improv your way through that,
Can I tell you about a joke that I've been writing? It's not done yet.
Yeah.
But because I don't think I've ever seen anyone make this joke before. But I've been writing a joke about advocating for dogs having lower lifespans. Because I feel like I've never seen that joke told before, for good reason. No one wants dogs to die. But it just came to me one day when I was thinking about how people, anytime their dogs died, they're like, I wish they could have lived longer. And I'm like, it would be way more heartbreaking if your dog died, if it lived 24 years. Like,
yeah.
I would myself. That's like a family member at that point if they die.
Yeah.
But if dogs lived as long as like gerbils do, which for me when I was younger was like months, because they're great. You don't have to feed or water gerbils. You just get them.
They just
and
hang out.
Yeah, just toss them after a couple weeks or something. If dogs live that long, I would not be as upset.
Yeah, it's like you got like a 3-week pet.
Yeah.
Or a 3-year pet at most,
A 3-year pet, that's a perfect time to have a pet.
That's a great ratio because you're not tied to that animal for like a decade.
Yeah.
Say you got to move house and like your landlord is just like, no pets. You could just toss them out. They're like disposable. They're easy to get rid of.
like my dog, he had seizures and died when he was 7, but he realistically he probably could have lived to like at least 12.
Yeah.
If he hadn't gotten sick. And like I was very sad when he died. But I was like, fuck, if he had lived till he was like 10, oh my God. Like I would have been so much sadder for so much longer.
Yeah. Because like my dog like died like under pretty similar circumstances. She had like skin cancer or something like that, and just like the consultation to go to the dog dermatologist was just like it was to the point where it's like, it's not worth it. We'll just put her down. She's like miserable.
I think it's just dogter is what is the word you were looking for.
Yeah, the dogatologist.
The dogtologist.
Yeah, so like I remember the day it happened because my dad like picked me up after school, and he gives me like, because it was like, I don't know, like a week before my birthday, and he drops me off. He like gives me like 2 concert tickets because like Megadeth was in town. He's like, "Oh, son, here's some concert tickets. Like the show's like, I don't know, in a couple days. You can bring a friend. Also, your dog's dead." We put her down.
Oh man, that's
Like,
rough.
I don't know how to feel right now, Dad.
Yeah. No, I was in the room when mine was put down. And I wanted to keep his collar for sentimental reasons. I still have it to this day. It hangs in my car. But I forgot to take it off before we put him down. So my parents were like crying. I was crying. We were getting up to leave. And then I went, oh, I forgot his collar. And I had to go back into the room where my limp dead dog was. And I had to lift up his like not yet crystallized head. I forget what the word is. What's it called when they kind of lock up?
It was like rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis. Yeah. So I had to lift the collar off of his floppy dead head. And I'm surprised I didn't cry harder when that happened. I think like my coping mechanism has always been humor.
Yeah.
So in that moment, the funniness of me lifting up a floppy dead dog, circumvented the sadness that I felt about it being a thing that I had cared for.
Yeah, it's like a Larry David bit at that point, you know?
Yeah. Like, I had a similar thing happen. My ex-girlfriend, her dog died in their house. Like, it had been sick for a while, and it just kind of like just one night walked into its room, fell asleep, and died. And rigor mortis hadn't set in yet. And her dad was like, I'm going to move the dog onto a bed so it's not on the floor. And he lifted the dog up like you would normally lift up a dog. So he had like one hand under the bottom legs, one hand under the top legs. Or if you're thinking of the dog in horizontal terms, one hand under the front legs and one hand under the bottom legs.
Yeah.
And the dog just flopped in the middle and sank back to the ground. And it took every fiber of my being not to laugh. And I held it in. But then I finally got a laugh out when the dog's tongue was like way out of its mouth, and her dad pushed the tongue back in, and I broke. That was the moment I started laughing. It was really sad. Like I cared for that dog.
Yeah.
But it's just like I hope that when I die, something similar happens to me. Like I hope that I'm paraded around for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's just like if I'm dying, at least. I'm just hoping there's like something funny surrounding it, like some kind of funny circumstance.
I had this idea for my funeral where I would, like, before I die, I would invest in one of those Boston Dynamics robot dogs, and then I would have specific instructions in my autopsy that they remove the skin from my body and then graft it onto the robot dog, including mounting my dead head on the dog. And then at my funeral, I would be basically walking around, but just like I'd be serving drinks. Like there'd be a drink tray on the back of the dog that's got my carcass like draped over it. And I don't know if the dogs are capable of this yet, but I was thinking of like I'd pre-record a couple lines beforehand. So every once in a while the dog goes, "Kill me! Kill me!" I'm not dead.
My misery.
Just to like spook the people a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's it's jovial enough that people are like, oh, wow, he's funny even in death.
He's still doing jokes.
He still got it. That's like my ideal funeral situation.
See, I think it'd be a funny bit. It's like in my will is just to leave all my stuff just like a rando, like a guy like I barely know. Like the entire family is just like they go to the reading of the will. And he's like, oh wow, like who gets the car? Who gets the house? And I don't know, it's just like some homeless guy like I just met one day.
It's funny if it's like the one thing you leave off is the house, and it's just some guy in a 1-bedroom apartment. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this shit. Why'd you give me all this stuff? I got room for a piano.
Yeah. I don't have a room for all this podcasting equipment. It's like podcasting that was more like a 2010s, 2020s thing. We moved on from that.
Are these guys behind the cameras legally bound to you? Like, if you die, do you have to give them in the will to someone else, and someone receives your 3 camera boys?
It's like, I'm not a lawyer, but yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that before I gave up my show. I would have died so that I could give Carson to somebody to take care of him.
So like the production, like we have $1 million assets here. Like, it's very expensive to like maintain this level of crew right now.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Is that and I assume all the money goes into there and not keeping this room fucking cold. It's really, I said it earlier, this room is really hot now.
No, it's ridiculous. All right, I think that's enough show for today. So
And that's it? You turn the cameras on just to end it?
yeah.
I feel like we got another 10 minutes in us.
We do, but you know, we can leave some stones unturned, you know.
Until next time.
Exactly.
All right, I'm cool. I'm okay with that.
So, do you have anything you'd like to plug? Is there anything you'd like to share with the world?
I don't have anything to plug per se, but I just want to take the chance to say that what I said earlier about myself, I said earlier in the show that I wasn't going to. I've since changed my mind. I'm kidding. No, I have nothing. I have nothing to plug.
Yeah.
I have nothing going on. I'm starting a documentary series soon. Not watching it. I'm going to be in it. But we haven't really gotten the boots to the ground for that yet. So, stay tuned for maybe the next time I'm on, and I'll actually have something to plug probably.
All right. Well, you heard it here, first, folks. you heard it, and you're hearing it again. This has been Cooper, Chase Mair Show. Tune in next week. We got more interviews coming. We're talking to more people, and don't yourself.
Unless it's funny.
Don't yourself.
Okay. Okay. I agree.